can't live here. So now, this is the flat 13, which is not in the chord symbol, but sometimes the melody is going to give you, just like the last one was an 11, it's not in the chord symbol. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It's what life is. So we have our root. There are 2 possible C sharps. I'm going to pick this one. There are 2 possible E's. Not going to do that. I'm going to put the E down there. There is 1 G.
And a B flat.
There are 2 B flats. Not going to do that. So there's our beautiful A, 7 flat 9, flat 13. Right?
Okay.
So, what was it? Can't remember. Oh no, it was this one. Yeah, sorry. Put that for now. But anyway, does that make sense? So all you're doing is filling in whole notes. You're just figuring it out. Bam, 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 bam. Because what you need to do is develop the speed of figuring that stuff out. Because other than that,
I can do that.
whatever, you have those voicings, and then you can do whatever fancy schmaltzy stuff that you want. That's later. You need to have the concept, and then the next one. I like the idea of just one of each because it forces you to really see this stuff. But you can always double stuff later on. I just want to give you the thing that's you can start to do, which is all of doubling notes. There are ways, once you understand how to do this, you can start to do chord substitutions, which means adding extensions, adding 11s, 9s, taking away notes. You can play chords, even just because it says it on there doesn't mean anything. You could play an entirely different, unrelated chord if you have the ear and if you can justify it creatively in your own self. But we need to methodically go through it. This is a great way. One of my biggest weaknesses when coming out of jazz school, when I had a degree in jazz piano, is I hadn't really done this so much, so that I had a bunch of if you go to Cabrillo and which is a fucking great program, but to sort of jumpstart you into the jazz world, usually they give you a book full of stock voicings. So when you see a C6-9, you play that, and what that does is it gets you to kind of sound jazzy. The voicings work about 75% of the time, but they're very conventional, and they become sterile, and they don't work all the time. And so you can kind of pick those players out and go, oh, they haven't really gone through. Because you need to know where all the flat 5s are and what they sound like and what the different combinations sound like. So when you would ultimately, and not now, but ultimately, just so you see that there is logic to this, if you were going to create an arrangement of this, you would do the experiment. You would go, so on this chord, those are all the notes. You figure out which ones feel good to you. Do I like this because this has a little bit more weight to it, or do I want it to be really light, or do I want it up here? Do I want this kind of thing? And that, this doesn't even have a third in it.
It's sparse. It's so pretty.
But it works.
Yeah.